Good morning, Mom.
Good morning, Janice.
How are you?
I'm just fine.
Yeah, I'm sure they can't hear that voice.
Is this going to be a criticizing?
Only thing I'm going to say is please speak up.
I am now in the sunroom at the home of
This is going to be a long video. Okay, what did you tell me before we got on this?
I don't know.
Did you say you wanted to be the moderator?
Oh. Well, how can you remember one thing I say and not anything else? Okay, Janice. Now, truthfully, what has been the most aggravating thing about my visit here?
Okay, I can tell you, without a doubt, you staring at yourself and not being able to concentrate on this podcast. That's pretty annoying.
Okay. Thank you for that picturesque explanation. Other than the podcast.
Okay, can we? Okay, I've answered. Let's don't make it negative. What don't you say? Okay, for every negative, you have to ask a positive.
Okay. What has been the happiest moment in your life since you've known me?
Doing this podcast.
My, what a miserable life.
No, I think my most happiest moments would be the birth of my 3 children. I also think getting married to Waverly. And I also think childhood memories of just sitting around the table and throwing lettuce water at each other and all the silliness. And so yes, those are mine. I think I did a pretty good job answering that, don't you think?
Well, weren't you kind of in pain when your children were born?
Not really, because you don't have to whisper like you do. I wonder if they can hear us.
Okay, if you had to choose one of your siblings to be on TV and to display their talent, which one would it be and which talent?
Well, I'm having a hard time thinking of anybody who has a talent in our family. I mean, Pat is smart with history. Kathy is very organized and always has everything all planned out at the last minute, but she's very concise. Joan is a computer whiz, and she's good at being on TV. And Eddie is funny and cute. So I don't know. I don't know if they have I guess what kind of show would this be? A variety show or be I think if it was Jeopardy, I think Pat.
Okay. I don't think that it's proper to ask the moderator to explain their questions.
Okay, you're the moderator.
Yes.
Okay.
So, what's your favorite flower?
Okay, this is going to be boring. So, I'm just telling you. Who cares? They're all beautiful in their own way at different times of year. I love tulips in the spring. I love different ones.
Okay, that's enough of that. who would you say? Who would you say is your favorite child?
I don't have one.
That's a good answer.
Well, that's an honest answer.
Yeah, well, that is a good answer.
Do I get to say anything? Ask you anything?
Did I? When you were moderator?
Yes, you did.
Okay, ask away.
Who's your favorite child?
Well, now let's see.
I'm eating lunch this month. I know that's kind of rude, but.
Well.
So you're supposed to say you don't have one, Mom.
Oh, I don't have one, Mom.
Okay, that's my text messages you see on that, so you don't need to read
Okay.
it. Okay, so I'm thinking that this is my house. I started this, so I'm just gonna. This is our last one before you go back to Ed's. So I want to finish it up.
All right.
Okay, so I want to hear about. I love hearing stories about you and Dad in the early years. So you said that I asked you, I think off camera, if you had friends. And you said in the early years, but we had kids pretty quickly.
Did that make sense?
But I was wanting to know, who are they?
Well,
Who were they?
when we were in Mount Vernon, we went to the Christian church there in Mount Vernon, and we met a couple. Her name was Joan, and I can't remember what his name was.
Is that the one you didn't like?
Yeah, I mean, she was fine. She was a nice person, and everything, but you know, you just didn't want your child to be like some. She wasn't. She was a nice person. I should never have said we didn't like her. But anyway, and then we went to Carrier Mills. What am I answering?
You're answering. Did you have friends, and who were they?
Oh, well, we went to Carrier Mills.
Okay, you went to church. Did you have friends? You said there was that Joan lady.
Yeah.
Was she your friend?
Yes, we kind of went places together, and he built model airplanes like Jack did. And so they would go out, and after they'd spend so much time building them, which I helped your dad build his, they would go out, and if they didn't fly or if they had any trouble, which they always did, your dad would set his afire and send it up in the air.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
He was always in for the drama or the excitement.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you know, when he got out of the army, well, he had the GI Bill, and he could do anything he wanted with that, like get an education or anything. Kirby went to school, and Jim Wells's dad went to
Veterinary school.
yeah, so he became a veterinarian. Jack took pilot lessons.
I love that. I didn't know that.
Oh yes, and he's afraid to fly. Yeah, I mean, he's not afraid to fly now. He might be flying right here in this room for all we know. But he took pilot lessons, and I know he was landing. You know, there's you have to learn to land as well as fly. And we went flying with someone else as the pilot. And we were flying over Craverton Lake, and I got seasick.
You were always delicate.
Well, I'm not afraid to fly, that's one thing.
So, what ended that?
What ended what?
The flying. But he didn't keep on flying.
No. I imagine it was that we were transferred. I mean, the railroad transferred him to...
Where did you live when you did that? Mount Vernon?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
So, that's an interesting story. Now, I remember him going to VTI. Is that what the name of it was?
I think so.
And he would take courses in...
Electronics, radio, television, repair.
Yes.
And he, lo and behold, he went into the television business just like his brother Herbert, which he always acted like he didn't like, but he worshipped Herbert because Herbert was 7 years older than he was, and of course Herbert knew to do a lot of stuff, and he was supposed to teach Jack, and so Jack thought he was really smart, which maybe he is. But one thing, when Mr. Shelton, you used to spare the rod and spoil the child. When Mr. Shelton would spank, well, Herbert would just stand there. And so Jack learned that the minute he started crying, Mr. Shelton quit. So he all stopped really quick.
So Dad had a strong sense of family loyalty, sounds like.
I never heard that term.
Well, I remember at his funeral, people would come through and say, he's a family man. He's a family man. He was a good family man. Some of those railroaders.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Well,
I thought that was a good, big compliment.
Oh, it was. He was. And, people mentioned how that they admired him after he died. And the people I didn't even know that knew him, actually. But anyway.
Like who?
Karen Brumley, her husband, she said he always admired Jack. I thought a lot of Jack. Maybe he, admired is kind of a big word for Johnson County.
Well, Richard Brumley was a big man.
That's true. That's true.
Well, is that the hairstyle that Tony tells you that is the most becoming?
No, it seems like,
we didn't do any glam today. I don't know if you can tell.
it seems like, my life has taken a U-turn.
Explain that.
Well, I thought I was headed north, and then I headed south. Then I headed north again. Then I headed east.
So you thought you were going to Kathy's and you didn't go to Kathy's?
Oh, I did. And I do not know where I hurt my shoulder. It could have been at anyone. It was probably when you knocked me down the stairs. That's not true.
What you told me, the story I was told, is that when you fell at Kathy's, you fell on your knees, and then you fell down on your shoulder. At Ed's, you fell on your sit down gracefully on your butt, but then there was a huge bruise on it.
Okay.
But I don't care where you got you're probably, what I was thinking what the doctor told you. What did the doctor say about you, the way you got hurt? What was her recommendation?
Don't do that anymore.
Don't be getting down on the floor and trying to...
Oh, why were you cleaning your bathroom?
Yeah.
That's what she said.
What else did she say? A recommendation?
Well, if she said don't get down on the floor, no one that falls is aiming for the floor. That's just Newton's law of something. And I just, every time I've fallen, it's been down.
I think that's the way it goes.
I think so too. But I don't fall on purpose.
Oh, I know, but I think that maybe just trying to be more thoughtful about when you're taking your socks off, maybe be in a sitting position when you take off your Depends, like to be not be trying to stay in the middle of the room, and just little things like that might be helpful.
All right. And your degree is in?
Life. Do you have your hearing aids in? Yes, you do. Okay.
Yes, and one of the things about, last year I had a knee surgery, and my insurance questioned about if I had that at a different time, where there'd be other insurance. Well, I don't know where I had it. I guess this shoulder. I was in my house and I did it to myself. They can't argue with that, can they?
Mm-mm. I don't think you really said where you just said you. I don't know. I think you said you just fell.
Yeah. Well, okay. This is the most boring. Leo and Jack are going to be running in the other room.
I know. I just thought, okay, we'll finish it up. But what have you done today?
I did something upstairs. I don't remember what. I took my medicine and I got dressed and I looked at the paper, but I didn't start working any crossword puzzles.
But you helped me. What did you do?
Snap some beans.
So she snapped beans. I think that I'm gonna go to try. Hopefully, your Celebrex is at Walgreens.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna get her 4 or 5 counter checks, so she'll have checks because she needs to throw all her old checks away. And
okay, that girl said she'd be waiting for you.
Yeah.
Or not waiting for you, but have it there at the window for you.
Okay.
And I talked to her quite a while. Told her why I wasn't called Mary anymore, because she called me Mary. But anyway.
Anything you would like your children to know about?
Well.
Since you say I'm bossy and you want to.
Oh, you're not bossy, hun. I just try to rile you. Well, my children know that they're the most wonderful people in the world, and they are so good to me. But I found out that my husband made them all promise that they would take care of me. Like.
That's not true. He made Ed promise to take care of everybody. I love Dad, but he's a little bit of a chauvinist.
Well,
so
okay. Well,
Ed's got his hands full.
He'll agree with that, and I will too. I have tried to be more cooperative in being a patient, or whatever you call it. More patient than being a patient.
You're not a patient. You might have even trying to be more cooperative with your caregivers.
Yes.
And that is at Ed's house?
Well, anyone. Am I cooperative with you?
Not really. I don't see you being this meek little thing that just, okay.
Well, I never have been.
So,
I didn't even follow directions in school when they tell me. That biology teacher, he had us collecting leaves in the fall when they were all falling and they weren't pretty leaves or anything. And my leaves weren't apparently he didn't approve of them. He was flirting with me before I gave him anyway. You can't go out in November and find beautiful leaves.
It's true. Okay, so I have a memory, and Dad probably shouldn't have done this, but he used to say, "Whose buddy are you?" Remember when he used to say that?
He never said that to me.
No, to all of us kids, "Whose buddy are you?"
What did they say?
Whose buddy are you, your mom or dad's? Oh, you don't remember that?
I didn't know it.
You were there.
I didn't listen to everything you guys said.
Good.
And so you would have to say, "You are Daddy."
No, we would say Mom and Dad. And what would he say? If our listeners would know what he said, he would say, "But mostly,"
And then you'd all say, "Mom."
huh?
And you'd all say, "Mom."
Well, some people were loyal to you and wouldn't say Mom or Dad.
I guess one that would be loyal to me,
Who would that be?
Pat.
I don't think he even. I don't know. Pat, you can clarify that.
Well, the rest of you were little.
Well, we were old enough to know that we shouldn't probably pick one or the other, but who do you think I always picked?
Your dad.
So you don't have any hard feelings about that
No,
because you don't remember it.
no, and you.
Good.
He-
I'm sorry I brought it up.
Well, that's a dumb game to play.
You know, you gotta have some sort of ego boost.
Well, anyway, I know that when it came your turn to learn multiplication tables, you learned them.
We are broadcasting live. Would you like to be on the program?
Oh, no, thank you.
Did you get my message, Natalie?
Your message? Where did you send me a message at?
I don't know. It was on my phone, and I said that it was so nice to have your employer do something.
Recognize all her hard work.
Yeah, recognize you with something.
Oh,
And I always knew you were special, special.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yeah, it was a nice surprise.
well, that's the first nice thing she said this whole video.
Oh,
Well, I can't wait to hear it.
do you even watch it?
You know, I haven't watched it, but I've been getting kind of like the cliff notes of it.
Ah.
Now, are those online or where do you find those synopses of the?
Probably.
You know, when you have really popular podcasts, people kind of pull the most interesting parts of it and, you know, kind of write about it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, that might be the best way to watch it.
All right, well, you guys have fun filming.
Tell our listeners hello.
Well, make sure I'm not part of it, please.
We don't know how to edit, so you will be. Tell our listeners hello.
Hello, listeners.
Now, you know,
You probably should tell them you love them because they're all your aunts and uncles.
Love you, listeners.
Natalie, she's holding the phone over there, and it doesn't have your picture on it. It has those, you know.
I can't. You know what?
icons.
She can't stand me. She just can't stand me. I'm just
Just
annoying.
I just can't stand her.
Okay. Talk to you guys later.
Well. Okay.
It's nice how, and well, I said how it's nice to be recognized by your employer and your customers. Because one of the prizes was for you.
I guess I got something on me. Mom's saying might be a milkshake. I don't know what it is.
You got a milkshake and I
It's
got cereal.
It's a protein shake. You can have one.
One that recognition she got. One was for being perfect, and the other one was for customer satisfaction and increasing in customers.
That's not quite correct, but we'll go with that.
I think it is.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Well, we had a call in. I'm sorry to say that we had somebody ask if we were live yet, and he hasn't called in. He hadn't called, so we're going to call him because I'm ready to hang up. I'm about ready to be done with this. It's ringing.
I think we can hear that.
He might not answer. I feel like Kelly Ripa. You know how she always does those phone calls and calls, see if they know the answer.
Oh, no, I don't like her. I don't. Did you watch her new show last night?
I don't like her either. I don't watch her, but okay, he is not answering.
Leave a message, I'll call you back.
Okay, so you know what?
Okay, Kelly Ripa had a new show, and it was on ABC. She was the producer, and it was like a quiz show. And it was very boring. And she had an outfit that her stomach was puffed out some. I mean, that's not.
She's like 90 pounds, Mom.
Well, I know, but I don't think that was a very becoming outfit for her. But I don't particularly like her. I liked Regis.
Okay. Well, anything else you want to say? This is our last podcast before you go back to your son's house.
Well, I have learned a lot from this.
What have you learned?
Just brought my ego down.
I think the opposite.
Oh, well, that's why you're the moderator. People act like they want you to quit.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty much over this myself. It seems like it's been the most boring one yet.
Yes, I think so. Except for Natalie's call.
Yes, Natalie did call.
And her voice was so nice. So much better than ours. But anyway, so
Push that little red button, see if you can do that.
we'll have our commercials now.